That was your one moment. When I tell you about my one moment against Dirk, that's your one moment. This one moment can define where you go from here. Now, that moment might not mean as much to Jason Tatum as it means to you. You fight for your fucking life in this moment. He playing, he wants it, but he's not fighting for his life. It's a different approach. Now, mind you, we got 9 motherfuckers fighting for their life. 4 of them motherfuckers is making $800 million, and the other 4 making $100,000, fighting for their life. Now, you throw 8 motherfuckers that's fighting for their life in the motherfucking ring, and you wonder why we win.
Udonis Haslem, we are in Miami.
Welcome.
I'm with the mayor.
Welcome. We've been waiting for you.
Hey, absolutely. I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful day. I mean, you cannot say a bad thing about Miami.
Nah, it's a good day today. It ain't too hot. You know what I'm saying? We're chilling today.
No, I'm very happy to be here. Happy to talk to you. I have really been looking forward to this because there are so few people that have the knowledge and experience that you have in this league. And you're such a principled person. And I don't think a lot of people are principled. And one of my favorite shows is The Wire. And in it he says, a man gotta have a code.
Yes.
And you absolutely have a code.
Yes, ma'am. I do.
What are 3 things that you live by?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, for me, I got to be able to look myself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? When it's a tough decision for me to make, I get on the right side of it. I mean, make it easy for myself. What's the right thing to do? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, thirdly is I just got to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? At all times, no matter what the circumstances, no matter whether it benefits me or it benefits somebody else, no matter what the outcome is, like, I just got to be able to sleep at night. I got to be able to keep it real with myself. So I got to keep it real with myself first, man. And losing sleep at night is something that I ain't willing to do. Nah, not at this stage of the game. I'm tired of that. Ain't no more losing sleep. That's it.
So when did you make that decision? When were you losing a lot of sleep at night?
It was kind of, I was raised like this, man. I was raised like kind of do the right things, keep it real with people around you, keep it real with yourself. And I think trying to be liked, you know what I'm saying, in a world where it's not very nice out here, I think that's the last thing you can do. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to be yourself. You got to live your truth. You got to walk your path. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, you know, what I've noticed is that if I would have tried to do it the way people wanted me to do it, if I would have tried to be liked on the way to doing it, then I'm not sitting here having this conversation with you today. You know what I'm saying? If I let what people thought about me dictate my circumstances, if I let what people thought I should be doing dictate where I go, then I don't go where I need to go and I don't get where I'm trying to be. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for me, it's always about keeping it real with myself and how I feel about the decisions that I make, because I'm the one that got to live with them. I'm the one that's got to suffer the circumstances, or if it doesn't go the way I want. You know what I'm saying? So, always just judging myself on, am I keeping it real with myself, man? Am I going to look myself in the mirror at night and say, you know what I'm saying, you did the right thing and you stood on something. So that's what I always try to do.
It's interesting how you talk about, you know, not always wanting to be liked or feeling that need to be liked, because you are so liked.
Now.
Yeah.
Now, and it's because of the knowledge that I have.
Yeah.
It's because I've been around. It's because of the success. I played with the greats. You know what I'm saying? I don't take nothing away from the people that I've had the opportunity to learn from. You know what I'm saying? All the way going back to the Shaqs and, you know what I'm saying, the Alonzo Mournings, and then I've had the chance to play with the Dwyanes and, you know, the LeBron's and the Chris Boshes. So I've had an abundance of knowledge that has come my way. So as I've gotten to the OG role and I don't play that much no more, I'm not as competitive. I think people it's made me more approachable. You know what I'm saying? From the next generation. So with DM and social media, anybody can reach out to anybody. But so it'd be surprised, and I'd be surprised how many of these young guys reach out to me just for advice. Just on, not always basketball, on business, on life, on family. You know what I'm saying? How to move out here. And it's made me a little bit more likable out here. So I'm cool with that. Because I'm a likable guy. I got a lot of likable qualities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just a competitor. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
People just see the competitor most of the time.
So what vision did you have for yourself in the NBA? And then how did the reality of what you were in the NBA live up to that vision?
Man, to be honest, I think when people talk about their journey and their vision, and it was like, oh, I always knew I was going to make it. I saw this house I was going to buy my mom one day. Nah, I ain't know I was going to make it. I didn't have this vision of, oh, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to do this. I really just kept my head down and worked every day. Like, okay, how far can I go with this? If I keep pushing, how good can I be? Okay, I got to the state championship. I was great in high school. Okay, I got a college scholarship. How good can I be in college? You know what I'm saying? Can I really push this, you know what I'm saying, to another level? I was pretty good in college, but I wasn't drafted. You know what I'm saying? So now there's a decision to make. And I could have sat there and pointed the finger at the teams that didn't draft me, or I was just look at myself and say, what can I do better? Had to condition myself, had to get myself in better shape. I wasn't in the shape that I needed to be to put myself in a position to be on an NBA roster. You know what I'm saying? So that's another time I had to keep it real with myself. You know what I'm saying? Not pointing the finger at the league saying, oh, they should have did this. Look who they drafted. Nah, I could do this. What can I do better? That's another thing I tell my young boys, accountability. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that later because that's a foreign language these days.
100%.
Yeah, but I mean, just my journey and my path was never scripted. And I never knew where I was going to be. So I just put my head down and work. And once I achieved something, I said, okay, I could do something else. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the confidence came to get to where I'm at now. Because I was just achieving goals. And I was like, okay, if I put my head down, if I work my ass off, can I say ass?
Absolutely.
I work my ass off.
Say whatever you want.
If I work my ass off, then how far can I go, man? So it was just built off work. Everything is built off the work. Don't trust me, trust the work.
I do want to touch on what you said because it's an important point about accountability. Where do you think and why do you think accountability has gotten a little lost?
Probably selfishness. You know what I'm saying? In a way, I think, we're all born selfish. And I think we have to learn how to get out of that. And I think it's probably not, the generation per se. I gotta say it's the parents. Gotta say it's the parents, man. I gotta say it's the parents, man. If your kid don't know accountability, it's not your kid's fault. You know what I'm saying? If your kid don't know, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. If your kid don't know, please, thank you. It's not your kid's fault. So I think with this generation, if they don't know accountability by the time they get to 19, 20 years old and they're making all this money, it ain't just happened now. That mean they been ain't know that.
You are who you are.
You are who you are.
Yeah.
That mean you been wasn't taught that. So, and that's a lot of the situations with a lot of these kids that come into this situation where they got a lot of money and things like that. Things have been given to them, and it's never really been their job to be accountable. It's just been their job to just be good, just be great, and just play the game and flourish. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get to this level, it's a lot of other things that come with this money.
So with just all this knowledge, right, what has been more rewarding for you, being a player or being a mentor?
Probably being a mentor.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Being a mentor?
Yeah, because you affect so many more people when you're a mentor. You know what I'm saying? I've watched so many guys come in this organization. First of all, you talk about the success we have with just undrafted players. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an undrafted guy. I wear that with pride. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, when these guys, come in here, I let them know, you're expected to be – there's no drop-off. I don't care if he was drafted first. I don't care if he got $100 million. There's no drop-off. You're expected to do and go and play and be just as successful as he is. There's no drop-off. So the expectation when you walk in the locker room of an undrafted player, I put even more on you than a guy that was drafted. You know what I mean? When these guys come in here, and it's personal. You know what I'm saying? It's personal. I live through these guys when they walk in this locker room. Okay, I'm not playing. I'm sitting on the side, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do. I'm going to show you exactly how you should do it, and I expect the results that I know you should have if you do it the way I tell you to do it. And if you don't get those results, we're going to keep going until we get them.
What's your relationship with ego?
With who?
Ego.
Ego. Oh. At this stage, I have none. I used to have a big ego. Yeah, I used to have a huge ego. But at this stage, at 43 years old, and I understand that, I've had my success as a basketball player. And right now, it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? It's about Bam Adebayo. It's about Tyler Hero. It's about Jimmy Butler. It's about Jamal Cain, undrafted. It's about Caleb Martin, undrafted. It's about guys like Max Strus, who just got signed to a big contract for Cleveland. It's about guys like Gabe Vincent, who just got signed for a big contract with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? It's about Hassan Whiteside, who was, out of the league and came with Miami and got a max deal. So I could go on and on. So it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? I left me out a long time ago. It's been about them. It's been about how can I impact the next generation and help them reach their goals and where they're trying to get to. Because I see some of myself in so many of these guys in different situations and different generations. And once again, we bring in the most undrafted players in the league. You know what I'm saying?
It's really hard to not have ego, though. Because I think in a lot of ways,
But I had it. I had it. I don't say I never had it. I just don't have it now. Now, when I got into the role where I wasn't playing as much and when things started to turn the corner, yeah, it was some dark nights. Yeah, you throwing shit at the wall, you mad, you asleep, you know what I'm saying? You coming to practice with a chip on your shoulder, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely I had an ego, but, I mean, okay, who cares? Who cares? Who cares that you got in his feelings today? Who cares? The world gonna stop? Is practice gonna stop? Is Spo gonna stop? Is the heat gonna stop? Hell nah, they not. So figure out how to be a part of it, how to be an asset, or you're a liability. Which one you want to be?
But what was that big ego moment that led to the realization that you now have?
When I just realized that, to go home at night and to take the frustration of being in the gym and, you know, the things that happen in the gym and take that home with you, it's not fair to your kids. It's not fair to your family. It's not fair to the people that sacrifice for you to be able to be in the position that you're in. So when I got to the point where things that are frustrating with work start to affect at home, gotta let that shit go. Gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably where decisions had to be made, because up to that point, yeah, man, I go home at night if I ain't play well or if I ain't get the minutes I want or something, I sit in the dark, cut the lights out, don't bother me. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. But when you get to that point and you start to realize that ain't healthy for you and definitely not healthy for the people around you, that's when you got to make changes on that.
You know, that's something I feel like actually is not talked about a lot in the league, that being an NBA player is such an all-encompassing job. It's such a lifestyle, something that consumes so many parts of you that you it's almost impossible to not bring work home. But bringing work home means that people who are not involved are being burdened by what happened with things that had nothing to do with them. And it sounds like you're saying you were experiencing that at some aspects of your life at some point.
Yeah, I closed off. I mean, I felt no shame. Why should I? Yeah, I gotta be my best version out here on the basketball court. If I ain't playing well, then I ain't getting paid. If I ain't getting paid, the bills ain't getting paid. So if I need to take 2 days not to be bothered, then leave me alone. But I think as you get to a point where you get older, like I said, you realize it's not about you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got kids, you got a wife, you got a mother, you know what I'm saying? I lost my mother 12 years ago. I just lost my father about 2.5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And you realize that, you know, this time with these people are precious. You know what I'm saying? And you don't get these moments back. And I think when you get to a certain moment in life, you realize that the things that really have value are really just the memories. You know what I'm saying? I sat in the hospital room with my mother at one point, and all we had were memories. Yeah, I couldn't pay for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't pay the doctors to do nothing. I couldn't pay for no special medicine. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with my pops. I watched my pops, and there's no special medicine I can buy. No matter how much success I had, no matter how much fame Udonis Haslem has, the memories is what you got at them points. So for me, realizing creating as many memories as I can with the people I love and the people around me, that's why I try to start to find true value. And I had to let that other shit go.
Like, that's the true currency. And we've kind of been tricked into thinking it's the other stuff.
Yeah, but you got to find it the hard way sometimes. Sometimes you got to go through things to find out what the real value in life and where the real value is.
You know, I always think about some people, they make fun of Jokic, how all he want to do is play basketball, then go home, and he's like, this is a job. I want to go home. I want to do these things. But he might be doing it right.
He is doing it right.
He's doing it right. He's like, this is the job.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I don't know, it's everything else has made us believe that Jokic has to care so deeply about it in a way that we actually should all be acting the way Jokic is.
One of the best years I had was the year that my mother was really struggling, you know, fighting her cancer. And I was struggling with coming off the bench. That was the year that we had drafted Michael Beasley, obviously the number 2 pick, a hell of a player coming out of college. In politics, coming to play a lot of things, coming to play, and Michael Beasley ended up being a starting power forward for the Miami Heat. Supported Bees, got much love for Bees. Bees played for Frank Martin. Frank Martin was my high school coach at Miami High. So as soon as we drafted Bees, Coach Frank reached out, make sure you take care of Bees. Bees' locker was right next to mine. So Bees was my guy. But obviously there's a transition. Bees becomes a starter. I become the guy that comes off the bench. Now throughout that transition, also my mother is sick as well. So I'm literally landing from road trips, and I'm landing. As soon as we land, I'm going to spend time with my mother in the hospital, and just as much time as I can. Ironically, basketball was just a sport. It wasn't about life at that point, and my mother was more important. There was so many other things that were more important. I ended up having one of the better years I had. I ended up leading the league in double-doubles off the bench. I was like runner-up for 6 man of the year, and it was just one of the better years that I had, but it was really because I really didn't give a damn that much about basketball. It was crazy. Like, I was playing well because basketball really wasn't my priority at that time in my life, and I ended up playing way better. And I learned something at that point as well in my life about, just how I approach the game and just how there's so many more things that are more important.
You've talked about your mom before. You talked about your dad. I was listening to the interview that you did with The Pivot, and in it you were talking about just losses that you have endured in your life. And I think you said that when you were going through the losses, your mindset was always sort of, okay, you keep going, you go to work. We're taught that you just are always pushing forward. But you have now realized that that isn't always the way to do it. Do you feel like you have actually had a moment to cope with what loss has been for you in your life?
I'm still coping. Still talking to my therapist. Still dealing
Me
with
too.
it. Yeah, I'm still coping. I'm still talking to my therapist. Shout out to him. You know who you are. Nah, I'm still coping, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I lost my mom 12 years ago. My pops 2.5 years ago. I lost my older brother, Sam. I've dealt with a lot of things. So, I'm dealing with them every day because I still miss them. I still think about them. You know what I'm saying? I still think about what my pops would have said when I sit down and watch the Dolphin games on Sunday because that's what we used to do. You know what I'm saying? When I go to church on Sunday, I still think about my mom's because she was real religious. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm still coping every day, but they live through me. You know what I'm saying? I got a highlight team. Never been to a highlight match. Only reason I bought a highlight team because I remember when I was a kid, my mama and daddy used to go to highlight and leave me in the car because I couldn't go in, and they said, I'll be back in about an hour. They go in, they play their little highlight, they win their money or not, and they come back and we go home about our business and go home. So for me, having the opportunity to buy a highlight team when I was older, it's just my parents living through me. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned the game, and it's exciting as hell. But I just remember those moments when my pops, hey, boy, I'll be right back. Don't open this door. I'm going to crack these windows. Don't go nowhere. And when he come back, he win his little money. We go eat somewhere. If he ain't win his little money, we take it at home. Go on home. You know what I'm saying? So to have the opportunity to do something like that, that's my parents living through me.
It's beautiful because I'm sure they are absolutely living through you. What's a personality trait that you got from your mom and one you got from your dad?
Oh man, personality trait. I'm funny. I'm like funny. I got jokes. I got that from my mama. My mama got jokes. I got that from my mama. From my daddy, you can't tell me it ain't nothing I can't do. I'm telling you, can't tell me it ain't. If I ain't do it, I'm gonna learn how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to tell you that you can beat me or nothing. I'm never going to tell you that you're better than me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I believe I can do everything. I got a son that play baseball. I ain't never played baseball a day in my life. But I would not let him think he can strike me out, ever. I would not let him think he's ever going to be able to strike me out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just that. I got that from my daddy for sure because there wasn't a day that my daddy ever let me think I was going to beat him anything.
That's beautiful. And I really love hearing that you're in therapy and you're coping, you're doing all the things. I say this every show. We talk about therapy a lot. I have a therapist. She's great. Shout out Dr. Dell. Everybody should absolutely try it. I was also reading an interview that you did with, I think it was Hot Living. And you said, I couldn't have dreamed it any better, which is why I think I didn't dream. What did you mean by that?
See, I just said that earlier. Remember I said I didn't plan this?
Yeah.
Because when you walk out your house every day and you see something, it's hard to dream other than what you see. I had never been to South Beach until I got in the NBA. I tell people all the time, so how the hell was I going to dream about going over there if I don't even know what's over there? You know what I'm saying? Until I got to University of Florida, I thought everybody lived like me. When I get, oh, wait a minute, you didn't see drugs growing up? You didn't see violence? You didn't see this? You didn't see that? Then I started to realize the things I experienced was different. They wasn't the ones different. It was me that was different. Like, I experienced the trauma. Like, I thought that my life was normal. Hell no, my shit was not normal. And I was looking at them like, the hell kind of life you had? And then I realized, like, it was the me that had experienced the trauma in life. And it was me that was going through the negative things. So, nah, I didn't dream, man. It wasn't until I got to college, until I played at University of Florida, that I realized that I grew up a little different. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I probably started to realize, okay, there's other things out here for me. And that's why I make it my mission now with my foundation is, first things first, let's show them something different than what they see every day. Because they're going to be brainwashed by what they see every day, and that makes it 10 times harder to get them out the mud.
You need the other environments.
Yeah, we got to get them out the mud. We got to do it with, most of these kids get, excited about what they see first.
And just to put into perspective for people that maybe do not know the Florida geography, where you are at, Liberty City is only, 10 miles from South Beach or so, right?
Yeah, right across the bridge.
And you had never been?
No, we go to Hollover Beach. If anybody from Miami, you watching this show, you know where we go. We go to Hollover Beach. We get our grills, we get our jet skis, we go to Hollover. We do not go to South Beach. Especially if you're from Miami, you really ain't even consider South Beach Miami. I hate when you come here and you say, I've been to Miami, and when people be like, where you went? I'll be like, South. No, that is not. You ain't come to Miami if you went to South Beach, Jack. No, you did not.
And that is, I just think that really is like the perspective of what you mean by, I was living in this world. Yeah. It wasn't this world.
No, I literally, all that club live and none of that. No, I ain't been in none of that. Not until I got it in the NBA and got a little change. And then it was on.
So growing up, to you, the thing you were going to be was?
I thought a football player.
Okay.
Because we in South Florida. And that's all we do down here in Miami is play football. And then I'm a huge Dolphin fan. I mean, we going back to Joe Robbie Stadium. You know what I'm saying? People, they probably don't even know what Joe Robbie Stadium is nowadays. There's a lot of fake Dolphin fans out here. There's a lot of fakes out here. I don't know who the real is. But I'm going back to Joe Robbie Stadium, Dolphin fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Jim Crash Jensen. You probably don't know who Jim Jensen is.
Like the real stuff.
I mean, this is in me. This is who I am, man. And like I said, I never strayed away from who I was, and I love my city, but I ain't never been across that bridge till I got in the NBA.
And now you are who you are, a true legend of the league. You are kind of the, you're somebody I would say was like the leader. I think when people thought about leadership in the NBA, you were a face that would come to mind. What does it take to be a good leader in this league? And is that disappearing some as well?
You gotta have a code. Like you said earlier, you gotta have a code. And people gotta watch you stand on them codes no matter who it is and no matter what it is. I think the problem is people flip codes on depending on who it is. They might check one of the guys on the bench, but they won't say nothing to the superstar. That's when your teammates lose respect for you. That's when they will not follow you. That's when they see through you. Can't do that. You gotta have a code. We talked about that earlier. You know what I'm saying? If I got something to say to the last man on the bench, and if he's slacking and I say something to him, I can't let the number one player on the team slack and turn my cheek because they going to see that. And then they don't respect me no more. And all of a sudden, my words fall on deaf ears. So I got to have a code. I got to hold myself accountable first. Coming in, being in shape. They don't want to hear that shit if I ain't in shape. Get your old ass out of here, OG. They don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that.
And in the league, were you always comfortable with giving that same criticism and compliments to the superstars that you would give to the role players or the people on the bench? Like, were you always okay in that space?
Nah, I was more so I just play hard. I let my play and my approach infuse the team. It's like bring life to the team, like the way I approach it, you know what I'm saying? And as I got a little older, you know what I'm saying, I realized that I can also impact people with my voice. You know what I'm saying? And once I realized how powerful that was, then it's like, okay, now how do you impact people? Because everybody's motivated and impacted differently. Got to get to learn people, learn their families, learn their backgrounds. Why is he like this? Why is he not like this? That takes time to spend with a person. Now, spending time with a person, getting to know a person, takes time away from what you might want to do with your personal life or what you have to do in your personal time. How important is it to you?
And you talk about, okay, being a leader, being able to kind of be equal opportunity with your criticism, with your compliments. Who was your favorite or best player leader that you've had in your career?
I can't just say one.
Give me two.
It's Shaq. I gotta say Shaq, because he always tried to make it about just a game. He always tried to, you know, he never wanted us to take it home with us. He always told us that it's just a game, enjoy it, have fun, and that's something that was always hard to do. And fast forward, when I got to the points that I got to in life, I realized why he said the things he said, and I was able to kind of manifest those things. And I would say LeBron. I watched Bron ride a bike to the gym, a 10 speed, lift weights for an hour, stretch for another hour. Mind you, we got another 2 hours before practice start. This man done all this shit, and practice started at 10 a.m., which means he probably done started this shit at 6.
So he's just different.
Watching that, understanding what it takes to kind of have the kind of longevity that I've had in this league, because even though I haven't played Bron minutes, I still got to go out there and practice with them young motherfuckers. They run, they jump, they athletic, they don't get no sleep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, so being able to have to do those things, you know, made me understand that if I wanted to continue to try to keep up with these guys, it had to be a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? All that taking a couple of weeks off in the summertime, hell no. As soon as the season over, get your ass in the gym, you got to keep going.
Yes.
If I stop, it's over.
Because I think that is something people don't realize. Basketball actually isn't the job. Your body's the job.
Yes.
And the basketball is a symptom of you taking care of your body always.
Yes.
And that's what everybody says about LeBron is number one priority in all things is my body right? And that is what then makes him good. And making and keeping your body right is nonstop.
Oh, for sure. And I watched that man do that, and I say, damn. You know what I'm saying? He the king. If he do it, he ain't got to do that. I don't think he do, but he doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? You'll be a fool to be around all these great guys and all this, you know, magnificent talent and not take nothing from these guys. Mentally, physically, you know, how they getting it done, how they get to where they at, you know, how they maintain it. I'd be a fool not to learn something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell my guys that come behind me. You know what I'm saying? You'll be a fool. You know what I'm saying? Not to soak up some of this game. You know what I mean?
So before you retired, you were the oldest player in the league.
Yes, I was.
It is now LeBron.
Yes,
So nobody knows better than you how hard it is at LeBron, 38 years old, to be doing what he's doing. Can you put into perspective just the age and what we're seeing and how wild it is that we're still seeing
You
it?
probably ain't going to never see that again. Not no time soon. We ain't. Not like that. Not at that level. You know what I'm saying? You talk about all the guys that, you know, played 20-some-odd years, and you even include myself in there. You look at the combined average. I don't think we combined average as much as what Bron averaged in his last year. You can put all us together. I don't think we can average what Bron averaged his last year. So, I mean, it's not a knock on us. That's just a tribute to him. You know, what he's capable of doing, what he's been able to do. And it's not a fluke, man. The man worked. It's a lifestyle for him. You know what I'm saying? There's no days off. Even if he's not in the gym, you know what I'm saying, lifting, I bet damn sure eating right. If he ain't eating right that day, he probably running it off. If he eating the wrong shit, he gonna run it off that night. You know what I'm saying? It is a lifestyle, and that's how you gotta live if you want to continue to have longevity in this league, man. You gotta take care of your body first. That weight room, all you basketball players don't like to be in that weight room. Get your ass in that weight room. If you're trying to stay away from them injuries, if you're trying to have a long-lasting career, that is something that is non-negotiable. That is something that I watched Bron do. That is something that, even though, once again, I didn't play as much as him, that is something that was non-negotiable for me. I ain't stopped lifting weights. I probably ain't stopped lifting weights in the last 8 years. From even in the summertime, when the season's over, I'm still doing the weight room. Before I get back on the track, before I get back in the gym, the weight room is consistent.
Okay, so this next question is probably going to be hard to pick, but it is a challenge. You've won 3 NBA championships. Which one means the most?
The first one. That was easy. That was not hard at all. I mean, because the first one was the one where, you know what I'm saying, I think that was the first one that kind of defined how my career was going to go. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to pick and choose the moments. You just got to be ready for them. You know what I'm saying? Dirk Nowitzki was tearing people ass up in that playoff series, man. He tore San Antonio ass up. Tore OKC ass up, and I was next on the list. I remember sitting at home with my homeboys, and they looking at me like, boy, your
Good
ass,
luck.
boy. And I'm looking at them like, yeah, okay, because I know I got to come home, and I know they ain't gonna lay off. So now it's personal. You know, now it's personal. I think, you know what I'm saying, that series could have went another way, and I think Udonis Haslem's career could have probably went another way. Being able to be prepared in the moments and to be able to seize the moments and shine in the moments, a lot of times that's how players' careers are defined. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the 20 years that I played. It might be the moments that I had in those 20 years that people might define me at. And in that moment, shit, Udonis Haslem stood up in the paint. You know what I'm saying? And I think that moment kind of defined how my career was going to go.
Did you realize how defining it was in the moment, or did you realize it later on?
Later. I didn't realize in the moment. In the moment, I could be honest now, I was crying. I had a little emotion. You know what I'm saying? I tell people with champagne in my eye, but yeah, I got a little emotional. You know what I'm saying? I carried a lot. Undrafted, you know what I'm saying? And playing for the city of Miami, born and raised. And then stepping in a situation where obviously, like I said, you know, I really wasn't given much of a chance. You know, I read the paper, you know what I'm saying? I don't pay attention to what people say, but I damn sure hear them. You know what I mean? And I've had this thing where I use everything. I use everything people say. I use everything people do. And there was just so much emotions built up in that series because you know how y'all do. Y'all do the little layouts. Y'all do the little matchups. This person against this person. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Oh, power forward. This ain't even a fair matchup. Okay, keep going with that shit, media. Y'all keep it up. I'm just sitting here eating it up. And my homeboys feeding it to me, boy. You gonna tear your ass up. Now I'm eating and my homeboys keep feeding me. So now when I get in there, it's like lock me and Dirk in the room and I don't give a damn. I'm coming out for 48 minutes. You lock us in the room and I don't give a damn what happened. I got to be the one that come out that room. And that was the mentality.
And did you feel like after that, even just you were received differently? Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah. I mean, I was able to bring a championship back to the city. Yeah, definitely received differently. Definitely looked at differently. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I'm a 6'6", 6'7" power forward. You know what I'm saying? If I listen to the analytics, I call them athletics. They say analytics. If I listen to the athletics, a 6'6.5" power forward should not be winning a championship. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was looked at differently. I was perceived differently. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think that's when it kind of been the prince of the city, kind of like took his little name. And, you know, I got to give Trick the mayor, Luke the king, you know what I'm saying, Ross the boss, and I'm the prince. And that's kind of how that went.
That's amazing. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, as I'm hearing you talk about this, you're talking about, you know, matching up with Dirk, what people were saying, but the confidence that you had, it doesn't sound like to me you've ever experienced a lot of doubt about yourself. Is that true or no?
If I did, once somebody else doubted me, it pissed me off. I can doubt myself. You can't do that. I can talk shit about myself. You can't do that. I can feel a way about myself. You can't do that. So when I did have doubt, all I had to do was listen to somebody else say some shit about me I ain't like.
And it worked like a charm.
And it changed everything I felt. It changed everything I was thinking. It didn't matter anymore because I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove your ass wrong no matter what I got to do.
I love that. Because if that was your mission,
Yeah.
you accomplished that.
Yeah.
I think everybody, and I mean this, you have created this for yourself and you have a name in this league that forever rings out. You were a very specific person in the ecosystem of the NBA. And I think that accomplishing something like that is actually a lot harder than winning a championship. It's a lot harder than being like one of the greats.
Thank you.
We know what this league is like and the politics of it and the personalities, how people receive things, all these things. So for you to be as solid in it and to have planted such a flag in it, I think above all else is probably the thing that you maybe should take the most pride in.
Yeah,
is it?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, to be able to be respected, like I said, by all generations.
Yeah.
And because I said it's one thing to be respected by the guys you played with and they know you, but it's a whole nother thing to be respected by this next generation that didn't play with you, don't know you as well, because once again, they can see through it. They can see the fake shit. They can see the bullshit. You can't lie to them. You can't sell it to them. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't buying it. They don't have to. You're 43 years old. Whether I listen to you or not, I'm going to still get my money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They don't have to. So if they see through your bullshit, they will dismiss you and move on. You know what I'm saying? So you either figure out how to be an asset or they ain't listening to me. So first things first, hold myself accountable. Come in shape. Before you tell somebody else to be in shape, get your old ass in shape. Make sure your old ass stay in shape.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the Heat a little bit.
Let's do it.
So after the Eastern Conference Finals last season, Spo and Bam were on the stage, and Bam was like, I was so excited because, Spo had us watch this movie and it got us hype. What was the movie?
I can't tell nobody.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not telling nobody. I'm not telling nobody what that movie was, but just understand.
Spo's face was like.
Just understand. Everything anything we watch, anything we talk about, it's about staying connected. Through everything, it's about staying connected because that's our superpower, is our connection.
Okay. So that is probably all we'll ever find out.
That's all you're going to get
about
from me.
this movie.
That's all you're going to get from me.
I'm like, one day, it might be.
I'll tell you one thing. It wasn't a movie. It was a documentary. I give you that.
Okay. Y'all watched the doc, learned about
That's all
staying
I'm gonna
connected through watching that
That's all I'm
doc.
going to give you, yes.
I don't know if it's going to be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Did you see
I'm
Spo's
going to
face?
figure out what y'all
Did
watched.
you see Spo's face when Bam said that?
That's why I said, I got to know. I got to know. He's looking at him like, do not say it. And then Bam's thinking, why did I even mention this movie?
that was for the team. But
Did y'all get on him after for mentioning it?
yeah, we all just laughed about Spo's face. The look on Spo's face when Bam mentioned that.
I'm like, we gotta get people on the case. I gotta find out what this documentary is. I'm trying to get connected.
That was it. That was supposed to stay in house.
Yeah. Well, the Miami Heat, though, just generally, obviously you talk a lot about culture,
Yes.
what it means to be a Miami Heat player.
Yes.
But I actually believe that this likely will stay in house. Like, this is an organization where you all do keep things close to the vest. It is about being connected and
Yes.
this brotherhood
Yes.
that exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the success we've been able to have, we've been the more connected team. You know what I'm saying? I think what people start to realize that all you athletics, you just think that you can write down on paper what a championship team should look like, and then you're going to poof, and they're going to be in the championship. Once you do it every year, you're going to do it again this year, you'll do it again next year. You do it every year, but once they realize that that is not the true ingredients to winning a team, you can have talent, you can have coaching, you can draw that shit up like Lombardi. If the guys are not connected, if they don't believe, and if you ain't got some dogs, it's not happening.
What gives you the confidence that Bam can be that culture carrier for the Miami Heat?
Because I watched him. I seen it with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen who he came in with and who he was, being a backup to Hassan, coming off the bench, to being an all-star, to being an Olympian, you know what I'm saying, to being a leader, on both ends of the floor. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about the game of basketball. We're talking about guys that are two-way players. How many guys actually do that? And he's one that does it with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? I think the success that Miami Heat has had over the last 4 years, you don't have that success without Bam. Now, obviously, everybody understands what playoff Jimmy does and how great Jimmy is, and we understand how great Hero is with the Sixth Man of the Year. But the one consistent piece that has not been injured, well, he got injured once, and I got a chance to play. I actually played well, too. But the one consistent piece that doesn't get injured much, the one consistent piece that, keeps that engine going offensively and defensively is Bam. And that's how I know, because we've been so successful. And he might not get the credit that is due because we got guys that score a lot more points. And that's what people like. That's pretty. That's cute. But the one consistent piece that has kept that shit together is Bam.
Bam's the gamer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So last season, during the Eastern Conference Finals, I was texting Jimmy about the game, and he said, Taylor, I'm the best basketball player in the world. I spoke to him a few weeks ago. He said, I'm still the best basketball player in the world. I think what people don't understand is Jimmy means that and believes that when he says that.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, he know. Listen, I just went and just played against Jimmy the other day. So every day last year on home games, Jimmy and I played one-on-one. And you might not believe this, I still got a little something in the tank. I went and played the other day with him. Now, with that being said, the shots that Jimmy Butler make are not normal. This is what I'm saying to you. And if somebody keeps making them, then you start believing it's not luck anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen Jimmy make shots on me repeatedly. Am I saying this shit right?
Yeah, repeatedly. Yeah.
I've seen Jimmy make shots on me that people don't make.
Yeah.
And he keeps making them. The degree of difficulty on the shots that he's making, how he's creating space to get to these shots, that is something different, because I've done the same thing with Dwyane. I've played one-on-one with Dwyane. I've played one-on-one with LeBron. I've played one-on-one with Joe Johnson and some of the greatest ISO one-on-one players in the league. Now, I've played one-on-one with Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen the difference. Now, that's not to say that Jimmy's better than those guys, but Jimmy damn sure might be one of the smartest one out of those guys. Jimmy is smart as hell. He understands how to get his shot off. He understands how to get you to switch your pivot feet so he can attack one leg, so he can counter you. He understands how to get to the free throw line. Now, mind you, you're thinking about all this stuff as you're guarding Jimmy, and then he just shoot it in your face because you got your hands down.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just so much that comes into play when you have to guard a Jimmy Butler, especially for 48 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So I think the thing with Jimmy, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this, like, we obviously all know how great Jimmy is when he gets to the postseason. We call him Playoff Jimmy. We applaud these performances and the ways that he is able to will his team to a win or to, conference title, whatever the case may be. But sometimes I feel like in some ways, the Playoff Jimmy moniker has hurt him amongst NBA fans because they are feeling like they're only seeing it in the playoffs. Now, whether that's true or not, they're not understanding that it's still the ability that he can turn this on when it needs to be turned on. Do you think that people are sort of misunderstanding Jimmy's game because of the focus that is always on Jimmy in the postseason? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, one thing I'm going to say about people at home, Jimmy Butler is the ultimate competitor. I think honestly, Jimmy loves competition more than basketball.
Yeah, spades,
Chinese checkers,
dominoes,
whatever it is.
Boo-ray.
Jimmy want the smoke.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So Jimmy is the ultimate competitor. If Jimmy could play all 80, I'm going to retire 82, 84. How many?
Yeah.
If Jimmy could play all 82 games, 84, how many it is? I don't play no more. But if he could play all them games, he would play them. He would play them. His body just doesn't allow him. We also talking about another guy who plays both ends of the basketball court. Two-way player. He is not taking a break on the defensive end. He's most likely going to be guarding the best offensive player 9 times out of 10 between him and Bam. So we're talking about a guy who puts a lot on his body mentally, physically, and emotionally. So, yes, there are times where Jimmy Butler has to take a seat, you know what I'm saying, and understand, be smart about it. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a guy who's been asked to do so much offensively and defensively. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that might feel, but I can imagine. You know what I'm saying? And when he does step out on the floor, he leaves it on the floor. I have no quarrels about what Jimmy brings when he suits up.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. Sometimes you got to refill his cup. And I respect that.
For sure. Were you a Boo-ray guy?
I'll do a little Boo-ray.
Just a little bit?
Did a little Boo-ray back in the day.
You losing a little money on Boo-ray?
Yeah. My business manager over there.
Yeah, he's like, he unfortunately was a Boo-ray guy.
Yeah. Them days over. I don't gamble that much no more. I don't have no time like that.
Yeah.
You gamble, them was hours. We used to play for hours.
And the plane rides and just everything. And then it's like somebody challenge you to the game. You got to say yeah.
And then you land, depending on how good the game is, you keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to spend that kind of money no more.
Best, you don't need to tell me the price or anything, but just best Boo-ray game you've been a part of.
Man, I seen somebody lose one night and somebody yell, I'm about to go buy a truck.
That's how much it was.
That's how much it was.
Yeah, y'all take it seriously.
Nah, I wasn't in that game. I had no folded mines.
I'm done. Yeah.
I had no folded mines.
I love that. Did you think that Dame was coming to Miami?
I thought it was possible. Once he said he wanted to come to Miami, I thought it was possible. You know what I'm saying? But I think one thing about us is we don't worry about who we don't have and what we don't have. We only worry about who's in the locker room and what we got to do. So if he would have came, welcome. But, we wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the business. But Dame is a hell of a player. I like Dame. You know what I'm saying? I really do like Dame. So who wouldn't want Dame Lillard? But, at the end of the day, we don't really focus on what we don't have and who we don't have.
Yeah, and everything moves. You keep moving.
Yeah, and we're going to be fine. I still expect us to win the East.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I know you all always believe that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You say you all. You mean you don't?
Well, first off, I'm a Hawks fan.
Let me put you on the spot. Let me interview you.
I'm a Hawks fan, so I'm always wrong that we're gonna. Yeah. So I can say I always think we're gonna. Asia knows. I say it every year. It never happens. But hey, at least I'm Southern, so don't hold it against me.
In the South.
Yeah, exactly.
I still expect the East to go through Miami. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what's on paper. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. The game got to be played in between the lines.
Now, I will say the reason I am in no way doubting the thing that you're saying is because you all have shown that it will work because you guys will yourself to these places. So it's not that I think it would be a surprise, right?
So let me ask you a question.
Okay, here we go.
Why every year is it about New York or Brooklyn or Philly or Boston and, Miami's over there too? Why is it always like that?
So I don't know the exact answer to that. I feel like I don't necessarily do the
Miami
projections in
wins.
that way, but I think that the simple answer and probably the most truthful answer is that people pay attention to those teams because of their cities, because of their markets, because of the one big name guy that's on that team. I don't think I agree that people bring New York into it, though. I don't think people ever say that New York is going to be the favorite. That's one of the ones that you said.
Not the favorites, but they always pick these teams over us.
Yeah, that is true.
How? The Athletic.
Actually, we're going to have to, you know what, we're going to, Athletic, we're going to pull up NBA Twitter Live because I did not pick those teams over y'all. I put y'all in it. I'll pull up my rankings.
Okay, cool. I'm just trying to figure out how they keep getting I mean, thank you,
Yeah.
because we use it. We appreciate y'all. Keep doing it. Y'all ain't learned yet, but damn.
Yeah, but it's, a lot of it too is just what I've sort of learned about being in the media is a narrative will always take over. Sometimes it takes one person saying it for everyone to say that is likely what's going to happen. Because the more you're fed something over and over and over, the more players that you're seeing over and over and over, you tend to believe that means that they are the best. People equate exposure to the greatness, if that makes sense.
I understand.
But really it's just, this is who we're seeing, so it's who we're talking about.
Okay.
But I think also you all kind of like that people don't pick you. Like, I think you internalize that in some ways. And in some ways, I think it actually does help that you don't get picked.
We use it.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? You're welcome.
We use it. we use everything. We use everything.
You are welcome. That is my response to that.
Well, I told you how I am. I mean, if I don't feel a way about myself and if I hear somebody else say it, they're not allowed to say that.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? As soon as they say it, now we pissed.
Yeah. Now we got to prove them wrong.
Now we got to prove you wrong.
Another nugget that I really liked when I was listening to your interview that you did with The Pivot is you were talking about when Bron and D-Wade and Bosh were here, they took less money for you to be on the team.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about those three guys in that moment making that decision?
How important winning the championship was to them. Those guys didn't know me. Dwyane knew me, obviously, but LeBron didn't know me and Chris didn't know me. But the fact that they thought that I won could help them get to that point of winning a championship, and two, it was that important that they would sacrifice millions of dollars to get that for somebody they don't even know, haven't had a conversation with. It's not like we sat down and had dinner and we like, okay, we're going to do this. I wasn't a part of the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
With Rod and D-Wade and CV had dinner, I wasn't a part of the dinner.
Yeah.
So for those guys to make that decision on the fly, you know what I'm saying, because they didn't have much time to think about it because I was on my way out, Jack. You know what I'm saying? I was on my way out, Jack. You know what I'm saying? So for those guys to make that decision on the fly and to be able to just break a little bit of bread off of me, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure, one, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate it, and two, I'm going to make sure they get their money's worth.
Absolutely. A few more for you. I do want to talk a little bit about retirement.
Yes.
I know the moment that you announced you were retiring, but when was the moment that you knew that it was time to retire?
The year before my last year, I lost my pops. That's when I knew I was definitely done. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to ride out together. You know what I mean? My last year, we was going to spend a lot of time together. He was going to travel with me. You know what I'm saying? Do a lot of things. My pops was my best friend. So when you think about it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the guys that I played with either retired or moved on to play somewhere else. So I wasn't spending much time with my teammates, you know what I'm saying? Outside of doing the things they want to do. What the damn thing they play. It's only so much.
Oh, yeah, like PS, Xbox, whatever, yeah.
Playing that damn thing in the dark and it's only so much that I could do. So outside of, you know what I'm saying, my free time with my teammates, I used to spend a lot of time with my dad. Like I said, watching the Dolphin games. You know what I'm saying? We listen to Isley Brothers. We just be chilling. So, you know, that was different. You know what I'm saying? Losing my pops and change things. You know what I'm saying? It's get a little emotional to think about my pops, but I missed him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I didn't have him around, kind of lose my train of thought thinking about my pops.
It's okay.
So, back to the question.
No, it's all good.
Yeah,
I was I was just talking about when you knew that it was time to retire, and I do understand.
Yeah, I miss
why you feel that way. Yeah.
So my pops, man, it was time to retire because I didn't have my pops. From the day I stepped on the basketball court, that man watched me. He coached me. He cheered for me. You know what I'm saying? And when I didn't have him watching, when I didn't have him coaching, when I didn't have him cheering, it just wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the same. I was able to still give what I needed to give to other people, but nobody was really giving to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, remember I tell you, you can't pour from an empty cup. My pops was my biggest cheerleader. My pops was my biggest fan. You know what I'm saying? So even though I wasn't playing that much, or I would sit on the bench or whatever the situation may be and pouring to 15 other guys, you know what I'm saying? My pops was always pouring into me. So when I lost the person that was pouring into me, it was kind of time to step away from it.
It changed what the game was.
Yeah, it changed what the game was. You know what I'm saying? I just, like I said, my pops from the day I stepped on the basketball court, he was there with me. So when I lost him and he wasn't going to be a part of my last year, it changed kind of what the last year meant to me. And it kind of changed a little bit of the journey, but I was still thankful. But, yeah, it was time.
Yeah. No, I understand. Phil, you can get as emotional as you need. That is totally fine. My mom, she lost both her parents very close together. Yeah. And one thing she always would say is that it never gets easier. It just gets more real to you. Yeah. And so I totally empathize with that, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, it was different. The game it wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? I still love the game. I still love impacting the people around me. I still love everything that I was doing, but I just wasn't getting the same feelings, you know what I'm saying, that I used to get. So, yeah, it was time.
Did that change how happy the game made you?
Yeah, winning. Winning always make me happy. Hey, it was no better feeling than holding up that trophy in Boston last year.
Yeah.
It's conference finals. You know what I'm saying? That makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Winning Game 7 on the road. Obviously, you know, we didn't get it done in Denver. But, you know, just the gratitude of, you know, getting that far in my last year. You know what I'm saying? It made it worth it. You know what I mean? It made it all worth it. Winning cures everything. Yeah, winning cures everything for sure.
Hey, I know that is absolutely true.
Yes, winning cures everything. Yeah. So, yes, winning, it cures it all.
So how have you just overall dealt with the transition of being a retired player? I mean, for most of your life, you were doing one thing.
I haven't stopped. Staying busy. I still get up and work out every morning. I worked out this morning. I hit the ground running. Business is my passion now. You know what I'm saying? I got my hands on a lot of pots. I like to call myself the octopus hustler. You know what I'm saying?
I might take that.
Yeah, I just like to call myself the octopus hustler. I mean, what you want, like what you need, what the city need. You know what I'm saying? We got affordable housing. You know what I'm saying? We all understand, you know what I'm saying, the gap right now with the housing situation out here. I can get into the numbers, but they probably don't want to hear them. But right now, you know what I'm saying, annually people making like $48,000, $50,000 in South Florida. It takes $100,000, $110,000 to rent comfortably. So now we're trying to bridge the gap of housing. You know what I'm saying? Mental health, you know what I'm saying? I got a mental health project and facility that we got coming up. You know what I'm saying? It should be done. Jobs, got Starbucks, got Einstein's, got Subway. Medical marijuana, I'm the part of the flowery. You know what I'm saying? I tell all my homeboys, you should not be going to jail for weed in 2023, dog.
You should not.
I do not want you to be worried about nobody getting behind you and you nervous. We is too old for that. And it is now legal, brother. Go get your paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So for me, just business is my passion, man. I'm all over the place with that. I love it. TV.
Yes. I seen the spots. Said we've got a star, folks.
Little TV. You know what I'm saying? My boy Dwyane told me a long time ago. He said, man, you know, when you think about it, you should probably think about doing little TV. It's like you got a knowledge of the game. You got a good personality. You know what I'm saying? You might enjoy it. So that was something that he told me a long time ago. And, you know, for one thing about, you know what I'm saying, my boy Dwyane, like, you know what I mean, the conversations we have are so, like, different from, like, what we used to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Now it's about business. Now it's about life. Now it's about adulthood. You know what I'm saying? Encouraging conversations. So he put me on TV a long time ago and told me something I should look into.
I love that. And Dwyane is another, like, elder statesman of the league, you know? So it's absolutely a match made in heaven. Speaking of business, I know you said you want to one day be some sort of owner of the Heat. What conversations have you had with, you know, Pat Riley about that goal of yours?
Yeah, we still having them. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of layers to that. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I wouldn't say so much Pat. It'd be Mickey and Nick. But they're open. You It's a conversation that we're having. And, you know, when I talk about, you know, not really, you know, having like dreams, how could you dream about sitting here having a conversation about being an owner with the Miami Heat? You can't dream that as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that I wouldn't have been able to process of even dreaming. So like I said, I just kept my head down and just worked. And just once I achieved one thing, okay, damn, all right, what else I could do if I push? What else I could do if I try? What else what I could do? You know what I'm saying? I've learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, what I can do if I just put myself in the right position and handle my business the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's on the table and we're working on it, and hopefully it'll happen sooner than later. But it's an opportunity for sure.
Absolutely. One thing that is very clear to me and that I really like is sort of a common thread in your life is that you are open to your goals constantly changing.
Yeah.
And you understand that, like I said, even though the world might be here, your world gets like this, but then you see that the world can still get bigger and bigger.
Pivot. Life for me has been, and I hate to say it because that's them boys' show, but pivot. Y'all boys got a hell of a show, but life for me has been how you pivot, man. How can you pivot? Because if you think you just going to draw out this map and say, I want life to go like this, and I'm going to be here, it ain't going like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going like that. I'm sorry to tell you, but the American dream of the house, the dog, you get your degree, and you go to school, and you get the 4 cars and all that. No, go to school, your ass going to probably be in debt. So all this stuff that we was told is what's the American dream to make us happy. Nah, bro, what's your definition of happiness? You got to find that out yourself.
Yeah.
You got to walk your path and see what makes you happy, what don't make you happy. And you got to live in your truth to get to your happiness, man. But for me, nah, man, my happiness ain't been what people told me it was going to be. I had to figure it out and find it myself, because if I listened to what people told me, I wouldn't be happy and I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do have to pivot. And no, we love the pivot here. I've been on the show too. Those guys are great.
T, go Gator.
Channing's a mess.
Channing, go Gator. Yeah, Ryan, love what you're doing.
They're great. I was on that show and I had a beautiful time. I read that you have a lot of jerseys around your house.
Yes, I do.
MJ, Dan Marino, a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite jersey, and which jersey has the best story about how it was acquired?
Wow, that's a great question. My favorite jersey? I would probably have to say my favorite jersey would be that's a great question. Why would you put my favorite jersey would have to be my Dwyane. Dwyane gave me his Olympic jersey. I have a Dwyane Wade Olympic jersey. And out of all the jerseys I have, obviously, you know, the Olympics is a different level. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that, you know, I've never been able to experience. I never obviously will be able to experience that, but you know what I'm saying, at that point in his life, you know what I'm saying, to be representing the country, you know what I'm saying, to be on that platform and to be one of the, you know, chosen few to represent that country and to come back with that jersey, and I'm sure you don't have a lot of those, you know what I'm saying, and to bring back one of those jerseys and to sign it and give it to me, I probably have to say that's probably one of the more prized possessions, because it could have been anybody he could have gave that jersey to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Olympic jersey, but he gave it to me, so I would say that's probably one of my more, you know, prized possessions as far as jersey-wise. And then my Dan Marino. Anything Dolphins. Dan Marino, Mark Clayton, Super Duper. I got all those jerseys. Anything Dolphins is like at the top of the list. Yeah. And all of them the same. And no man is above each other, even though Dan Marino was the king.
The guy.
I put Duper and Clayton right next to him.
Amazing. Oh, wait, I want to talk about the D-Wade jersey really quick, because that's a beautiful story. Mm-hmm. How did it come into your possession? Why do you think he gave it to you? What was his, you know, reasoning when he presented it?
Well, I tried to buy it at an auction. And I bid for it, and when it was time for me to pay, he said, nah. He wouldn't take my money. He said, your money's no good here.
Wow.
So, you know, I appreciate my boy for doing that. But I bid it for it at an auction for one of his charity events. And then when he realized that I was the one who won a charity, he wouldn't take my money. He just signed it and told me he wanted me to have it.
That's beautiful. Any message or just the signature on it?
I think it's like to the realest nigga I know or some shit like that.
You said, yep, absolutely.
No, real talk. You asked, that's what was on it. I think it's what the realest nigga.
I love it.
That's what was on it.
No, that's beautiful. And that is like an iconic jersey to have.
No, that's my dog.
That's really great. Well, last one for, you know, speaking of jerseys, it's been, you know, said that your jersey is going to be retired. It's going to be right there. When people look up in the rafters and see your jersey, what do you want them to feel?
When you look up in the Raptors and see my jersey, what do you feel? Shit. One of the realest, I guess, that ever put on a Heat jersey. One of the hardest working. You feel when you look up there, the DNA, the culture. You know what I'm saying? I think every guy has taken it and kind of made it better. So it was Zoe. And then, you see me now. And I made it a little better. And until Bam, or he hangs his jersey up there, I'm going to be the one that's kind of the guy who made it what it is right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when you look up at that jersey, you're going to see the bearer of the culture, the DNA for the Miami Heat for a long-ass time. A long-ass time.
When you look at that jersey and the rafters, how will you feel?
Accomplished, finally. Because I don't ever let myself really look at my accomplishments. I kind of, like I said, I always keep my head down. When I accomplish one thing, I go for something else. Once you get up there, I'm going to finally exhale and say, okay, you did all right for yourself, boy. Yeah. But until then, like I said, I just been keeping my head down working. But once you get up there, I'm going to look back and I'm going to finally reflect, because I don't reflect often. I'm not much of a reflection type person, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm more of a person that gets up in the morning and I kind of do my little words of affirmation and I move forward. I ain't looking back too much, you know what I'm saying? But when the jersey go up there, I'll reflect. I'll look back.
Good. You deserve to exhale.
I'll allow myself that.
Yeah, no, I love that. You deserve to exhale. You've done a lot, and you were a pleasure. This was beautiful. Thank you so much, Udonis.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime.